Apparently Samsung decided to change things up a bit and get rid of the plus size, but now they're making their flagship tablet at the regular 11-inch size again with the new Galaxy Tab S11. Personally, I think that's a good idea. It comes in 3 different colors. I feel like silver is probably the best looking, so go with that one if you're trying to decide between them. It's actually lighter than the previous Tab S9 at 1.06 pounds. It also starts with 128 gigabytes of storage and goes up to 512. You can also use a micro SD card up to 2 terabytes. Looks like it's the same exact new style of S Pen, just like on the Ultra. If you thought the previous S Pen was good with other Samsung tablets, this one's even better. This one has Wi-Fi 6E. The Ultra is the only one that has Wi-Fi 7, but in my opinion, most people probably aren't gonna notice a big enough difference between the two. Definitely feels pretty similar to the previous Galaxy Tab S9. And yeah, you can tell it feels a little bit lighter as well. You can see the pogo pins are now on the back instead of the bottom. It also comes with Android 16 and will get support until September 30th. So 7 years of software and security updates, just like the Ultra. It looks like it has the same 11-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X display as the previous Tab S9 with 2560 by 1600 resolution and up to 120 Hz refresh rate and a brighter display at 1000 nits normally up to 1600 nits peak brightness. It's got the new style of speakers. You've got 2 on each side with Dolby Atmos. You'll notice it doesn't have the spot on the back where the S Pen attaches. So it only attaches there on the side now. Pretty much the same size as the previous S Pen. It just feels more like a wood number 2 pencil. The other difference now is you don't have to charge the S Pen like you would on the previous flagship Samsung tablets. There's quite a few things that you can do with the S Pen, such as transform simple sketches into artwork, create images from text descriptions, turn photos into cartoons, paintings, and more. And you can see they don't put that many shortcuts for the S Pen, but you can add pretty much any other app that you've got installed. I thought the S Pen was pretty good before. It's been one of the best ways to draw, take notes, or just move around the software. But now I feel like it's even more comfortable to hold. Again, it feels like an actual wood pencil. I think a lot of people are going to be surprised once they start using it. I think the screen quality on here looks pretty good, pretty similar to the older Galaxy Tab S9. It has good contrast, seems to be plenty bright enough, and it has good viewing angles, as you would expect from Samsung's more expensive tablets. It can also play up to 4K resolution for YouTube videos as well. You can see pretty much identical size to the previous Tab S9. Of course, you don't have where you put the S Pen on the back anymore. If you're wondering if the new S Pen works on the old tablets or vice versa, they do. They also snap in to the same spots as well. Of course, it's going to look like it's charging, but my guess is it's always going to say 100%. You can see how much larger the Ultra is versus the regular S11. You can also see the bezels are a lot smaller on the Ultra. The fingerprint scanner seems to work pretty good on here, so that's good to see. I also like the new style of lock screen. For the screen lock, you've got face unlock, fingerprint, pin, password, and pattern. Of course, you have light and dark mode. Of course, you have the notifications and quick settings separated now. You can also change that in the settings if you want them all in one spot. Looks like the same wallpaper as on the Ultra, which I think looks pretty good, just for something different. Of course, you also have the option to switch between adaptive and standard for motion smoothness. It's on adaptive by default, which is 120 Hz refresh rate. If you want even better battery life, you could always try standard at 60 Hz. It's a little bit different now with Samsung DeX. You've got create a desktop or connect a display. Kind of nice to have different options now. Kind of nice once you open up an app, you can have them in floating windows and then add another desktop. You can switch back and forth between them. Just quite a few options now when it comes to Samsung DeX. There's also several ways to do split screen now. You can drag from the taskbar, you can just swipe over from the side, or you can do it through recent apps. I feel like there's actually a ton of different ways to do it. So far it's using about 31.7 gigabytes of the 256 available. You still have the option of Samsung News or Google Discover newsfeed left at the home screen. You can see they only add a couple extra apps like Netflix, Spotify. There's also your typical ones from Samsung, Google, Microsoft. I like how they don't put a lot of extra apps on there. Up in the quick settings, you've got most of your typical stuff like secure folder, multi-control, screenshot, call and text on other devices, scan QR code, and so on. You've also got Samsung DeX as well. Then you've got quite a few others that you can add on there, like take screenshot, extra dim, secure Wi-Fi, battery protection, and so on. Also, if you don't like the layout of this here, you can also move around just about everything in the quick settings, which is just nice to be able to customize everything. If you're wondering, Bixby is still on here. You just have to go into advanced features to turn it on. This one also has swipe for split screen, swipe for pop-up view as well. It's got the MediaTek Dimensity 9400 Plus processor, just like the Ultra. Nice thing is it now starts with 12 gigabytes of RAM instead of 8. You can see from the benchmark results, you're not gonna have to worry about performance with this tablet. It's actually very similar to the larger S11 Ultra. In fact, it's even a tad higher on single and multi-core scores, and a tad higher on GPU performance as well. Probably one of the highest that I've tested recently. So of course you'll be able to play most games in the Play Store. Just when testing PUBG Mobile and Asphalt Legends Unite, they played fairly smooth on here as well. It's also a lot easier to reach things on the screen on this 11-inch version over the Ultra. So this might actually be a better option for gaming for most people when compared to the Ultra. It also has the same size battery as the previous Tab S9, also has 45 watt fast charging. I know there's a lot of variables when it comes to battery life, but I ran my typical battery drain test at 100% screen brightness, and it lasted about 9 hours, which is actually above average compared to others that I've tested. It's pretty similar to the Galaxy Tab S9, but keep in mind the screen is a little bit brighter on this one, so once you turn that down, it should last even longer. This tablet also has a quad speaker setup, which is actually quite nice. If you thought the Galaxy Tab S9 was good, I think you're gonna like what you hear. But here's a quick sample just to give you an idea of how it compares to the Galaxy Tab S9. There on the back, it's got a 13 megapixel rear facing camera, 12 megapixel on the front. Inside the camera app, you've got portrait, photo, video. Under more, you've got pro video, night, food, panorama, hyperlapse, portrait video, and single take. You can do up to 4K resolution, 30 frames per second for video recording. I think photos actually look pretty good here in my studio lighting, but here's a few quick samples just to give you an idea of what to expect from the new Galaxy Tab S11. Photo and video quality seem to be pretty good on here, at least for a tablet. I think it's a little slow at focusing, similar to the Ultra, but hopefully they can make that faster through a software update. I think this would be fine for Zoom meetings or other video conference calls if you would need to. I think if you already have the Galaxy Tab S9, this one has a nice boost in performance. The S Pen is also a little more comfortable to use, plus you don't have to charge it. But I actually think the biggest upgrade with this tablet is the 7 years of software updates, and that alone might be enough to upgrade for some people. I plan on comparing this to some other tablets that I have, not to mention I've got some other new stuff that I'm working on as well, so you'll definitely want to keep an eye out for those upcoming videos. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.